Hi guys, just got 3 quick games for you here. Going to be going over some fundamentals of boom and zooming. All these games are going to be in Corsair variants. This is the F4U 4B. It's a 5.7 quad cannon variant. So what are the fundamentals of boom and zooming? Firstly, you want to have the energy advantage at all times. Doesn't matter what altitude you're at, you still want to have an energy advantage. So that usually, like this game, it involves climbing to the side. That J2M is in a dive, so he's equalising his energy. He's a lot more manoeuvrable than I am. But he turns, so I switch targets to that KI-61. He's in a vertical, he's a lot slower. Now, maintaining energy as I just said. Nice horizontal at the beginning to separate from the furball, don't want them to do a reversal. Then a shallow climb. Problem with most boom and zoom aircraft, they're fast in straight lines but they don't have good climb rates. That means you can't sustain climbs. If you put it into a 20 degree or a 25 degree, you'd just bleed speed like mad. You'd end up just losing it. It's more efficient to shallow climb. You'll maintain that speed for longer. You'll end up climb. Take you longer to climb to higher altitude, but you'll do it quicker. I know that sounds stupid, but you'll climb at a higher. You'll maintain your airspeed for a lot longer, which means if you do get attacked by a plane, you at least still have some speed. If you're in low energy, and if you're at low energy and the opponent is at high energy, then you're dead because you can't turn, you can't do anything. So pretty easy kill on the A7M2. He's not paying attention. He's probably stopped trying to grind on the Catalinas. But again, put it in a 10 degree climb, extending. So you want to side climb at the start of games. It really depends on which plane you're in, but I'd say climb to at least 5k, then turn back in. They really have very poor climb rates. Get an easy crit, well, it's not an easy crit, is it? It's pretty lucky, I'd say. But that's going to be our 3rd kill. Friendly does manage to set him on fire, but I get the kill somehow. I'm not too sure about that. But every single thing you do in American planes should be about maintaining the energy for as long as you can. The biggest problem boom and zoomers have is they can't retain that energy and they can't regain altitude very easily. So once you give away your altitude or energy, the only reasons you should give away your altitude or energy basically should be for guaranteed kills, or to boom them lower for your team. And it is hard to play boom and zoom because you've got to set yourself up right. You can see you spend most of the time in game just setting up for kills or setting up. So the Shirinkai goes underneath us. I was never going to get a shot there. So put it into a vertical loop. One, it gives us more time to just check the surroundings, make sure we're not going to be surprised. It also gives me a better time to look what they're doing. You can put yourself in a position where you get better time on target. Pretty sloppy shooting from me, but we do manage to get the elevator of the Shirinkai. You notice here I'm putting it in a 20 degree climb. This is my downfall of this match. You see how fast I'm bleeding energy. And there's a A7M2 coming in, and I'm fucked basically. I can't regain that speed. He's got a lot more energy than I do. And we're pretty much fucked. There's nothing you can do now. This is probably the biggest, well, I'd say the biggest flaw of boom and zoomers is their inability to regain altitude and energy. I'd say the biggest problem is the inflexibility of how you can play them. You can't turn fight, you can't energy fight in them because they're just heavy. They don't retain their energy retention well. You see there, I don't even manage to get the kill, so this was all for nothing. Maybe if I'd extended across the ocean at low level, I could have outrun him before he'd managed to kill me. Could have dragged him back to my base, but 4 kills in that game. Did die in a stupid way, but... So recap from that game, you have to side climb. You have to dive on enemies when they're at low energy states. After you've dived, you need to regain that altitude while maintaining energy. It is boring, because a lot of the time it's just setting up. So this plane is the F4UC, or F4U1C, sorry. ME410 turns underneath me. I'm nearly hitting my rip speeds, what I would have ripped if I committed to that. Instead there's a BF109 F4. Managed to get him, wasn't really paying attention. But with a nice shallow climb out. The only advantages you have, well, the only advantages you can get in this plane is your energy advantage. You can't get a turn, roll, any retention advantage. It's just not, you're a big heavy plane basically with a powerful engine for in a straight line. So we extended, now we're coming back in. We are by far the fastest plane in this engagement here. You need to make sure you keep it that way. So BF109 G2, managed to get him. Tier 154. Could say here we were bleeding off a lot of energy, but as soon as I get that kill, put it into a horizontal. Now if there was an enemy above us here and he chose to dive on us, there'd be very little we could do to evade. The way you can destroy boom and zoomers is a prolonged engagement. The more you get your enemy, if you're fighting a boom and zoomer, the more you can get them to turn their nose, they just hemorrhage speed, they just shear it off. So we've extended again. I think this BF109 is the last guy in the enemy team. No, it's not actually, I think there's one more. But anyway, we extended, now we're coming back in again. Oh, there is one more on the enemy team, sorry. We're extended, we come in, we're fast. We're still fast. But as you can see, most of our team are boom and zoomers. So if there was that one enemy above us now, you could essentially boom and zoom us all. And there would be nothing we could do to stop him. We can't regain energy well. It's even harder to regain altitude. Now I mess up this BF109, I aim too high on him. Now this is the last guy on the enemy team. I know I said that before, but trust me, this is the actual last guy. Don't know why he didn't die there. I thought that would have been a good shot. I would have put that in some sort of shitty montage if I got the shot, but it wasn't to be. But as you can see, I'm breaking the cardinal rule of turning. Not only does turning bleed your speed, but you also aren't really designed to turn. You kind of get a bit... plane gets a bit heavy when you're at low speed, you can't really roll. Again, a nice 4-kill game, just going over the basics. You can't turn and roll. It's not playing boom and zoomers, it's not flashy, it's not exciting. You oftentimes get frustrated because if it's a one-on-one and the guy sees you coming, you can just turn and there's nothing you can do. Lots of time if you go in 800 km an hour in the dive, there's very little you can do to even slight adjustments of fire. But you need to climb, you need to wait till the mid game when everyone's low and distracted, they need to come in. But you can't do much at the beginning of games, especially not with the F4U, F4B, where you just get out-climbed by everything. K4s, tier 152s, you have to wait till they're all low on energy before you can do anything. So our next game is going to be on Korea. It's just going to be a culmination of everything I've talked about. Another big thing with boom and zooming is not being baited by enemies. Like in the last 2 games you've seen enemies turn, and they want you to turn with them. Especially if you're at a lot higher energy state than them, you're going a lot faster than them. They can just reverse you pretty easily. But This game I've cut off about 10 minutes because it's just 10 minutes of me and him going back and forth. He's a 3.7 aircraft, I'm a 2.7. This is the British Premium Corsair F Mark II. Got a review out on this plane. It's pretty decent at its tier, but it suffers a bit at high tier. As you can see, he turns there. He wants me to follow him. Don't take the bait though. You extend a bit, then put it into a high yo-yo. So he's bled all his energy there for nothing. I didn't turn with him. I didn't take the bait. And we crit him, and he eventually dies. So it's quite a... Playing Boom and Zooming is quite tough. You've got to play it in a certain way. You've got to climb at the start of a game. You've got to wait till the end, well, mid-end game before you can be most effective. Planes like the F4, 4B, you can use them as bomber hunters, but they're not very good. You won't climb up to them quick enough. You need to climb, you need to be patient, you need to know when to engage, when to commit fully. I hope you guys got something out of this. It's just a few quick games on my thoughts on boom and zooming. I'm not an expert at boom and zooming, I've only been doing it recently. I'm pretty much a pure British fighter pilot. But I hope you enjoyed, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.